is asking you to be a robot here. You leave it up to the ego mind. It's like, well, no, if you want good stuff, you got to be positive. You got to stay positive. And if you want bad stuff, you're going to have to, once again, be negative. And that's going to create negative. And like, sometimes those explanations can be exhausting to listen to because it's a little more complicated than that. But it's necessary to, once again, to model more compassion and humility within our experience and recognize that those emotions will be presented. And it's in our balance, acceptance of these feelings, these emotions, that we can accept them more, that we can heal more, that we can operate with more dignity and grace amongst our experience and the fluctuations of emotions. No, of course, we're going to own how we feel. Of course we are. But it's our decisions, what we decide to do with our free will and these emotions, that will make all the difference. We can feel the emotions, but once again, consciously we get to decide. The ego mind, it gets to decide what we will implement, what we will crystallize, what we will say. The energy we allow to be projected out into our energy field, into the hologram. Once again, whatever you push out is coming back. But once again, as souls, as mature souls, we have the ability to decide what we push out into our energy field. Because, of course, we know it's coming back. We know it's coming back. It's just a universal law. So I get to decide what I project, knowing that will always return to me. Like, nah, and once again, I've experienced enough gossip. I've experienced enough, once again, emotional intensity and backlash and whatnot to know, like, look, I'm done projecting destruction into my reality. That's a conscious decision that we make as a soul. We stop creating a harsh karma for ourselves because we know, there's no need for all this drama. We ain't got to be tripping. We don't have to be arguing with people. We don't have to gossip and, we don't have to entertain that kind of stuff. No, I'm good. I know what that is. It's not necessary. That's a conscious decision. It's not necessary. We don't have to do that. We put this out there for assessment. It's important too. This is an expansion. Where feeling, you will feel less. Feelings is counter to your evolution. Feeling, you will feel less. Feelings is counter to your evolution. We're talking about an increase in frequency that's happening every day. That means the intensity of emotional investment in that which we choose to invest in will be there. No, the feelings will become more intense as the frequency increases. That's what this transition is about. The feelings will become more and more stronger. It'll become more and more intense or pronounced because of the elevation in frequency here on the surface. It's just that simultaneously we also have the responsibility to ground ourselves and process those emotions, to acknowledge those emotions. What happens when we acknowledge the intense emotions that present themselves? Of course, we process them. We allow them to flow through us. When we ignore those feelings or those emotions, we allow them to develop. These are the development of emotional blockages in our energy field when we have these feelings and we don't acknowledge them. They crystallize into blockages. And of course, the blockages come with their own babies, their own manifestations, because we have insecurities about this, and we're backed up when it comes to these things. So of course they're going to crystallize or materialize into certain experiences that we got to deal with, and that are once again emotionally intense. We don't feel like it, and no, hell no. Once again, if we're not addressing our own stuff internally, that's what happens. Blockages are created, and of course those emotional blockages will intensify to the point where they actually crystallize into our external affairs, because we're still receiving the energy regardless of we're using it constructively or not. If you ain't doing the light work and you just kind of waiting for something to happen and you get mad about this and mad about this happening, didn't you hear such and such, they was doing this, and y'all keep sharing the political stuff on your page, and I don't resonate, and I don't like, once again, all of this energy, this backed up energy, lower vibrational resentment and frustration and anger and fear and being mad at these people and against this, against that, fighting for this, fighting for that, and all the other kind of stuff. No, this crystallizes into chaos in your life, no one else's. As a creator being, this crystallizes as chaos in your life alone, in your experience, because you've chosen to entertain these ideas. You've chosen to cultivate these frustrations, these arguments, this resentment. Your choices. That's the nature of the dark. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Yeah, no doubt. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Awakened souls are choosing not to be toyed with by the dark anymore. To not allow that which we see, those things that we're told, to control how we feel or our decision making anymore. We're not allowing the outside illusion to dictate the vigilancy or nature of our particular experience. Like, no, I'm not being emotionally manipulated by all this stuff that I'm seeing. I'm not allowing this stuff to control how I feel inside, because I know that how I feel inside is what's responsible for the nature and climate of my day to day, of what's going to happen next in my life, if I allow all of these things and what they doing and what this person and that person doing to control how I feel. No, I'm scrambling up the harmony in my own life, allowing these things to trigger me. I'm messing up the harmony in my sphere. But that's why masters are here, to be in the world and not of the world. That's our work as ascended masters. To be here in the world but not of the world. To see, observe, accept, allow the realizations to take place. But even with that level of investment, to maintain your sense of balance in being of the world is a great feat, because you objectively allow yourself to observe the nature of the changes in the reverse engineering of 13,000 years worth of human enslavement. you allow yourself to witness that as a case study, as a soul. Because once again, your work beyond this realm is to serve other realms based on your own ascended mastery, based on the data that you've collected and the personal responsibility that you've taken in the physical. How did you ascend? How did you evolve? How did you heal? This is what other beings will be wanting to know from you. How did you heal that stuff amongst all this chaos when the government was lying and they put this in the food and they stopped you from doing this and they was race baiting and calling you names and doing all this stuff and people taking money and what did you do to heal? As an ascended master, you decided to incarnate on the master class of life in the physical on planet Earth. Can you show me how to heal? How you healed amongst all of that drama? What worked for you? What worked for you? What did you do to soothe the pain? What did you do to be able to have the capacity to accept these people after they've done all this stuff to you? What did you do to accept them inside after all of this stuff? This will be the priceless information that you receive through this process. Because they're coming and they're going to want to know, they're going to need your guidance. How did you gather the strength to accept that? To know that it was a hologram? To not do anything, to not try to fight them. How come you ain't fight back? How did you have the strength to not fight back? I know if they were doing that to me, I wouldn't be ready to do this. How did you do it? How you just accept these people doing all this stuff and your kids and your family and how you just accept that stuff? They're going to want to know. They're going to want to know, beloved. The new spectrum broadens our palette, giving us a new way of experiencing reality. When I say palette, I'm talking about the palette of colors, the palette of emotions, of refined emotions. How deep is your love? How compassionate are you? Do you recognize blame versus forgiveness? Empathy versus sympathy? Do you know the difference? One's advantageous and the other is disadvantageous. It gives you a disadvantage. Feeling sorry for someone versus being compassionate and empathetic towards a person. That's a huge difference. Huge, huge difference energetically. Sympathy versus empathy. Feeling sorry versus compassion. Oh, I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for them. I feel so sorry for them. That's crazy. That's crazy. I feel sorry for them. What you mean you feel sorry for them? These are manifestations of God, which are your reflections. What you mean you feel sorry for them? They set these experiences up for themselves on a deeper level. They set this stuff up for themselves. They don't need sympathy. They don't need you to feel sad for them. You're not helping them feeling sad for them. No, they drowning. That's once again, that's synonymous to a person drowning in the water and you jumping in the water and drowning too. You're not helping them by drowning too. Yeah, I see you sad. I just, you know what I mean? I'm gonna just come, cause it's fucked up. I'm gonna come over here and drown with you. Like, nah, beloved, you're not helping them drowning with them. You help by getting them out of the water. Be a lifeguard. Hey, once again, compassion says, I see your experience, and this is hard. However, you are a manifestation of God. Yeah, I see it. This is hard, but still, you're a manifestation of God. That's the difference between sympathy and empathy. Not, oh, that's so sad, so I'm going to be sad with you. No, you sad, I understand, but I also recognize that you're the creator. And you created this for yourself, and you have all the ability to pull yourself out of this experience. But however, first, it's necessary for you to accept how you feel. Yeah, this fucked up. It's sad. Yeah, no doubt. Let's acknowledge that first. Your feelings are valid. That's right. This is sad. Accept the sadness, allow it to flow through you. However, after the sadness, there's a realization, an opportunity for you to recognize the deeper nature of these experiences and pull yourself up. Things aren't happening to you, they're happening for you. You're not a victim here. You're in the process of an upgrade. And it don't make sense because it's like, well, what you mean? This is horrible. And it's like, yeah, but once again, that's the nature of a blessing in disguise. Feel the feelings, however, allow the process. It's called the blessing in disguise. Nothing is ever happening to you. It's always happening for you. Always. That that might as well be a universal law. It's always like that. Always. It's